oh my gosh, we're here. This is it, the last Harry Potter game. Yes! I am so excited. I don't care if this game blows. Which it probably will, but who cares, because this is going to be the end to the disappointments. Mostly because I'm not reviewing Lego Harry Potter or Quidditch World Cup. Because I'm not reviewing Lego Harry Potter or Quidditch World Cup. Because I'm not reviewing Lego Harry Potter or Quidditch World Cup. So stop requesting them. I already told you not to. But anyway, let's beat this!
I spent $45 on this game, guys. I'm probably going to return it, but just think, I'm laying down that much money for you. You're welcome. Alrighty, before even popping this sucker in, I was sure it would suck. I mean, it was based off of the same style of gameplay as the previous game, which blew. As with the last review, I'm going to speed through the unimportant parts. The story presentation is mediocre with quite a few plot holes, such as Ron and Hermione meeting up with Harry in the actual room of requirement, even though the Marauders map doesn't show that. You know, in fact, stop. I just realized something. This could be the last time I ever review a Potter game. So, hell, I have some comments to make about the story of Harry Potter. First of all, Voldemort has some serious pride issues. Good God, all he ever talks about is that Harry is not as good as a wizard as him. And the way Harry keeps getting out of situations is luck. To which I say, no shit. He hasn't even finished school yet, and you're focusing your entire evil empire's resources on killing this one teenager. Heck, you're the reason he had to drop out of school. Also, Voldemort is going about this Horcrux business way wrong. You want to hide a piece of your soul and nobody will find it? Here's what you do. You get a pebble or a rock or something, go to any deep body of water, and just throw it in. Gee, I hope no one goes looking here anytime soon. Heck, turn a used napkin into a Horcrux, or this empty box of Altoids, or this possessed Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone box. The possibilities are endless. Anyway, back to the review. The voice acting is pretty decent, but some voices really don't sound right, like Snape and Voldemort. Graphically, it's better than Part 1, but it's still pretty bad, and I personally think that Goblet of Fire looks better than this, and that was 6 years ago, and a whole generation ago. Right, the gameplay. Now, this is where I have to admit, EA did make quite a few improvements. The cover system is much better, both in usability and utilization. Most areas now have more cover, and it's more or less required to use, especially at the start of the game. And it works pretty well. Now you hit A to enter cover instead of minus. The drawback to this is that A is also sprint, so you might accidentally get into cover as you're running, and that's a little annoying. Another improvement is the overall level design being much more straightforward and easy to navigate, which is good considering the fact that the directional spell isn't even in this game. The camera will point in the direction you need to go at a button press, but you don't even need it anyway. The stealth is gone. Enough said. There are these pretty fun cinematic areas where you run towards the screen from impending doom, and they're pretty cool. It's nice that we actually get a health bar for the boss fights this time. Thank you, EA. And lastly, the different spells are so much more useful here. So useful that I'm actually going to list through them. Stupefy is your weak starting spell, Expelliarmus breaks seals, Protego blocks stuff, Petrificus Totalis is your sniper rifle, Expelso is a rapid fire gun, Confrigo returns as an explosive, and last, and best, is Impedimenta, which shoots 6 homing missiles at once and rapes enemies. I'm serious, this spell is game breaking. The part where you play as Ginny, where I guess you're supposed to be overwhelmed by Death Eaters, is so easy, because you can just keep shooting Impedimenta every 3 or 4 seconds, and you're good to go. And it doesn't even take that long to recharge. But anyway, a lot of people didn't like how the spells didn't function the way they did in the movies. Like, for example, do you really think Petrificus Totalis is a sniper rifle in the Harry Potter universe? Seriously. How about Expulso being a friggin' machine gun? But here's my logic. A stunned enemy is the same as a paralyzed enemy. In other words, if both spells will ensure the enemy is permanently out of commission, wouldn't you pick the faster one? That's what happened in the last game, and everybody complained about only using Stupefy. Well, problem solved, because you need these spells.
So, this is actually an okay game. Yeah, I'm surprised as you guys are. I mean, it's based off the same engine as Part 1, and that was awful. But this is actually alright. But it's not perfect.
First of all, why must this game be so anal with you mashing the B button? If you rapidly shoot Stupefies, or Expulso, which, remember guys, is the machine gun, so, then the reticule in the center will get really big very quickly. This decreases your accuracy. So in other words, you cannot keep firing away like in Part 1. You have to wait for it to get big or something. I don't even know how to say it. But it's stupid, that's bullcrap. Especially with Expulso. Next, there are so many parts in this game that feel so unnecessary. Prime example being the Chamber of Secrets level, where the only enemies are the spiders and the urge to shut off the game from boredom. This is lame. Why is this not over? End. Be done. Good God, there is no reason for this. And stop being a pussy, Ron. Even the fun levels, like the one where you have to destroy the bridge with Seamus planting charges, go on a bit too long, and the fun that is actually present, which is an accomplishment for the series, begins to evaporate fast. The gameplay itself, while yes, is actually kind of fun, I'll say it can be extremely repetitive, and there isn't really anything original. It's kind of mindless, and can get pretty dull at times. Lastly, well, you probably already know this. This game is short. I beat it in 3.5 hours, and that was on advanced difficulty. If I had played this on normal, you probably could chop a good 40 minutes off that time. So, this game can be beaten in half an afternoon. And that's pathetic, EA. Absolutely pathetic. Heck, here's an idea. Since both games of the Deathly Hallows were so short, maybe you should have made one Deathly Hallows game. But no, EA was obviously more interested in making a quick buck rather than making this a worthwhile purchase. In fact, to be honest, the best recommendation I can give this game is a Redbox rental, if it's available. I don't know if it is. If you're a Harry Potter fan and you want to kill 3 hours, get this game for $2, put the game on normal, and make sure you return it 3 hours later. I'm getting my money back for this game, just like the past 3 titles. You see, since I'm unbelievably cheap, I just purchased Order of the Phoenix through this game at GameStop, then returned them within a week to get my money back. Pretty smart, huh? But seriously, 3 hours. I think that speaks for itself. And that's pretty much all I have to say. The game is definitely playable, which is a major improvement over the anal waste EA released last year. The game can be fun, and the spells are fun to use, especially in Impedimento. And while the final fight with Voldemort's kinda lame, the other bosses can be quite entertaining. But some of the levels are boring and pointless, the whole game is repetitive as hell, and the game is pathetically short. And yet, I can still say that despite this shortness, the game drags on. So, as a whole, this is an okay game. And if you can get this for really cheap or, rent it, then it might be an okay gift idea for really little Harry Potter fans. Just make sure you keep the receipt like me. I'll give this okay finale to the series a 5 out of 10. Nothing special, but sadly, one of the better Potter games. And speaking of which, let's rank the Harry Potter games. The best overall would have to be Chamber of Secrets. I mean, everybody saw that coming. It stood the test of time and is overall great. Next is Goblet of Fire, which was a highly replayable, decent action game with a kick-ass co-op feature. But notice the 2.5 score drop. Sad, huh? Next we have Sorcerer's Stone for the PS2. It was a flawed prequel to the great Chamber of Secrets, but nonetheless, it was okay. Next is Deathly Hallows Part 2, the game we just reviewed. Meh, it's alright. After that, we have Half-Blood Prince. It was a pretty dull and short game, but the dueling was fun, so that's something. Then we have Prisoner of Azkaban. Great puzzles, but that's pretty much all the game had to offer, not counting the awful stealth sections. Order of the Phoenix is next. Snore of a game. And finally, we have Deathly Hallows Part 1. Boring, broken, short, overall awful.
And that's pretty much all the Potter games have to offer. Well, knowing Hollywood, a remake of the Harry Potter movies is eventually inevitable. So, when those come around, we'll get some new Harry Potter games. And maybe those will be good. But, until then, the way I see it, remember the second game.
Or first.
Huh? Oh, well. Wait a minute. I just realized something. I'm done with Harry Potter games. Yeah!
Rolling around at the speed of sound. Got places to go.